If you've got a sweet tooth and love chocolate but worry about the calories, then you'll want to check out this next recipe. It's super simple, deliciously satisfying, and best of all, kind to your health goals. There's absolutely no reason not to indulge, so let's take a look.
Hey everyone, today I'm going to show you how to make a gluten-free chocolate cake, and no one would ever guess that it was gluten-free. So the trick to getting a gluten-free anything right is understanding the different kinds of flours that you can use instead of a normal cake flour. And for a chocolate cake, I'm going to use a combination of chickpea flour and tapioca starch, and that retains moisture and it gives us a bouncy texture, whereas something like rice flour or almond flour can be a little bit too dense. If you're not sure about what flour to use, most places will make a ready-to-make cake flour or ready-to-make biscuit flour, so you don't even have to do the math. But if you want to use this formula, the chickpea and tapioca flour, it's 350 grams of chickpea to around 150 grams of tapioca, and that will mimic normal cake flour. That said, everything we're going to use in this recipe is going to go through a sieve, because passing it through a sieve is going to just aerate the flour a little bit more and give us much more bounce and lightness. So I'm going to just get this flour through. It is very heavy and very dense. All right. Now after the flour, I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of cocoa powder and about 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. Now your raising agent with a non-wheat flour is really, really important as well, just to make sure you get the aeration and the rise that you want, just to mimic normal flour. Okay, all right, so I'm going to give this a little mix at this stage just to make sure everything is nicely combined so that the end product is completely consistent. And to this, just with our dry ingredients, we're going to add a teaspoon of pink Himalayan salt and a 1/4 cup of coconut sugar. Now you can use regular sugar, you can use stevia, erythritol, date sugar, absolutely any sugar replacement you want if you want it to be a slightly healthier chocolate cake. So when you're using a sugar replacement, say erythritol or stevia, it's important to get a pre-mixed, pre-measured version. So you can get this at most shops. And it's quite important not to wing it yourself, because the ratio of sugar to, say, stevia is quite important. If you used a 1/4 cup of stevia, it would be horrendously sweet to, say, a 1/4 cup of regular sugar. So now we're going to add our wet ingredients and then blend. This is a really quick chocolate cake to make. So what I'm adding here is 2 eggs. And then about a 1/4 cup of olive oil. You can use any oil. I like to use olive oil. And the reason we're using oil is to make sure there's enough humidity or moisture in our cake to make it edible. And then a cup of milk. And what I'm going to do now is just grab a hand blender and mix it up until it's a nice runny consistency. And we want to go for something that's really quite runny. Keep an eye on the texture and on the thickness. And if you need to add more liquid, you must go ahead and do that. Otherwise your cake's going to come out too dry. So this is the density we're looking for. It looks like a really thick chocolate mousse. So now we're going to put half of this batter into the cake pan. And here's a really cool trick that I learned. You crunch up your baking paper. It's so much easier to mold to any shape. So what I'm going to do now is decant about half the batter into our baking pan. I'm going to spread it out quite nice and evenly. Oh, it's looking amazing. Then what I want to do is take some dark chocolate broken up into pieces, and you can use any chocolate you like. You can use white chocolate, milk chocolate. I want to use dark chocolate for the polyphenols and for the antioxidant properties, and because it just tastes nicer. And then add the rest of the batter on top. So we're going to create a little chocolate sandwich, which will get all of it out and into our cake. And then just gently make sure that all our chocolate pieces are covered. So our last touch is just to sprinkle some dark chocolate chips all over the top, because what is a chocolate cake without extra chocolate chips? If we're going big, we're going to go big. Okay, that's perfect. I'm going to take it and put it into the oven at 180 degrees for about 40 to 45 minutes. Just keep an eye on it. And then we'll take it out and slice it up and enjoy. So our cake is fully cooled and it's turned out absolutely beautifully. In fact, yeah, leave it in the paper, it's safer. Let's cut a nice thick slice. It's perfectly moist, that's exactly what we were going for. Great crumb. Just to decorate with a little bit of icing sugar, just to make it beautiful. And then ultimately, the taste test. Delicious.